This is a test. I'll just wait and see if anybody comes in here real quick, and we'll see if this is working now. I tried plugging in some different headsets, and we'll see if this works. I wonder if those other ones just died. Hey guys, welcome in. This is OBee, aka, well, aka, this is Brian Oberst, aka OBee, coming to you live. Just wanted to jump on here real quick and see if I'm being heard. I was trying to get into the Ohio podcast show on Patreon, and I wanted to bring up this point is you don't necessarily need your quarterback to run 20 to 25 times a game. You just need him to run maybe 10 to 15 times, maybe a little bit over 15. Uh, because what that does, it keeps the defense guessing. The defense will guess. They won't know when you're running, when you're going to throw, when you're going to try to hand it off to somebody else. Prime example is I was watching the Seahawks and Rams game last night, and you had two quarterbacks that are not much of a runners. But when you put that threat of them running into their game and saying, hey, if you need to at a certain time, run the football and get his yardage, and you see what it does. You see how the defenses had to adjust and account for that. Um, the one time they ran an RPO, the Seahawks ran an RPO where the quarterback faked it to the running back and he rolled out and got 14 yards. Well, they tried it again later, and the linebacker got off the ball very quickly and just read it. The defense adjusted and made that play. Like, okay, we got to understand sometimes you got to watch the quarterback and how he keeps that ball. So you have to put that threat into their mind. If your quarterback's not going to run uh, at all in a game, if you're not going to, as an offensive coordinator or head coach, you're not going to implement that into your game plan, then you're not putting that threat. The defense is not going to, you're not keep your defense guessing. We can look at the last several years of the playoffs where at certain times the quarterbacks run the football. It may not be a design run. Um, maybe it is the RPO, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just them just saying, we're just going to run a quarterback draw. We're going to run a quarterback sweep. You have to put that into your element of your game. If you don't, then the defense is just going to sit back and they're not going to have to worry about spying your quarterback, and they'll zone in on your running backs, your receivers more, and there'll be a lockdown on that part of your running game, maybe your running backs more, your wide receivers, and they'll take away it's something they don't have to worry about. And so even like I said, your quarterbacks need to be able to run the ball at least 10, 15 times. If not, then you're not going to the defense isn't going is defense you're not going to be able to beat the defense on everything. You have to have everybody on your team has to be willing to beat your quarterback, your running back, your wide receivers. All have to have the ability to run it at times. And if they don't, then or if you don't put that in your game plan, then I can zero in on just your running backs all the time. And eventually I'm going to stop your running game and I'm going to force you to throw the football. And I'm like, well, this quarterback's not going to run. I don't have to, I can, maybe I'll blitz more. And I won't necessarily blitz always up for the middle. I'll blitz out from the outside sometimes. And I know he's just going to roll out and he's going to stop and try to make a throw downfield or try to throw it away. You have to, as offensive coordinator, head coach, you have to allow your quarterback to run sometimes. I'm not saying you have your quarterback run for 20 to 30 times a game. I'm not saying that at all. That you have them rack up 100 yards every game. They have to be able to run the ball That's why I say if they run the ball 10, 15 times, then, you know, at least that way you have the defense guessing. And you look for those times to run. You look for those opportunities where you could run with your quarterback. If they're pressuring the outside and the middle is wide open, your quarterback can run up the middle and get 5, 6 yards, get the first down. And or if they blitz inside and he rolls out to the outside and there's something there, it sees the yard markers there. He can get the yards that way too. Like I said, it was a prime example of that last night with Sam Darnold and Matt Stafford. Look at their stats. They didn't run the ball a lot yesterday as a quarterback, but when they needed to, they did. And they got yards. They got positive yards. And I think that's what Ryan Day needs to do. I mean, nobody's expecting him to have his quarterback run a lot. But you have to find those times where you can get him to keep the defense guessing. That's all I'm saying. And I mean, isn't that what we want? I mean, stop and think about it. So sometimes I feel like, we try to maybe to put too much pressure on trying to focus with our running game, our running backs. And you say, well, I got a good running back and my quarterback can throw. He's maybe not necessarily a good runner. Yeah, but sometimes quarterbacks can get you those 5, 6 yards you need to get a first down. Or maybe they get one longer. Nobody says you have to have them run all the time. I just want to check and see if this works. So this is all I'm going to do right now.